Hi, and welcome back to Old School Blues Guitar. We're working on William Moore's Old Country Rock. And the third part that we're going to work on is this little chord change that takes us back to the 1 through the 5. It's an E chord is the first thing he's going to play. So you're playing in D. Your E is your 2 chord. So it's something like this. So let me just play everything so far and show you this next part. So this part, he's going to go from an E to an A, back to the 1. That's kind of a neat thing. So he doesn't just go to the 5, 4, 1. He goes 2, 5, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1. So anyway, so what we do is we make an E 7th. But when we play this, normally when you play an E 7th, you're going to have the 6 and the 4. You're playing in standard tuning, the 6th string and the 4th string are going to be your alternating bass. But since we've changed the tuning on the 6th string, now we've got to go 5 and 4. So we're kind of picking that. And he changes the picking pattern on this. If you listen to the song carefully, sometimes it's like he almost just strums the chord. Other times he's picking the string. And so what he's doing, so listen to that. And he's just going to go to the A for 1 beat. And it's the pinching. I got my A shape with an open 5th string. And then come down on the open 4th string, which is a D. So watch the E, and that's that little chord change. And then here he does a couple different things. I think I hear him doing this. I can't tell if he's sliding the whole D chord when he does this, or just the 1st string. He could be hammering onto it too. So the whole thing in context. And that's that part which will lead us into the next verse. So like that. Another thing he does on this is he goes from the E, where he's just picking the 3rd string in the D shape, and like we did before, just lifting off the strings and then coming back down with the D. So if we slow that down, what I'm doing is when I pick, I'm pinching the 4th string, or the 3rd string and the 6th string. Mess around with that, and that time I'm doing that. So one way I'm going, another time I'm doing this. And so let's take the whole thing so far and we'll play it. And then there's a kind of a guitar break, like a middle section, and then there's sort of a kind of an I wouldn't exactly call it a solo, but there's this little chord thing he does, which is kind of cool. So let's go all the way through one time, one of the whole verses. And in the next part of the lesson, we'll take a look at the first little guitar break that he does. Guitar break, he does this little part in the middle of the tune, which is really cool, and I'm still trying to figure out note for note exactly what he's doing, but I think I'm pretty close, so I'll go ahead and throw this at you and see what you think. So he's playing the verse and he's doing this, then he goes here. So what he's doing is he's going back and forth between really an A and a D. But he's doing it with some variations in his picking that makes it really, really neat. So my A now, I'm making this a long A. I'm just taking my first position A chord and putting my pinky on the 5th fret of the 1st string. It's a very common country blues chord, a long A. I should have showed you this with the chords at the beginning. And he's got this D. He does a lot of this where he's bouncing from the D shape off the strings, back on again. And when I listen to this, this is the first part that I hear. So he's going something like that. You can listen to the tune and get the original, but I'm going back. My bass is on the 5th string and the 4th string. Then my treble strings, I'm going from a long A to an A7 by taking my pinky off and putting my 2nd finger down on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So I'm hearing something like this. And then this part, just doing some picking. It sounds like he's lifting this up, putting it down. Then he's going to do this again. And then this time I did this little slide. Can't remember if he does that or not, but it's just something like, you might just be picking the 1st and 2nd strings within the D chord, so something like this. And then he's going to go to this. And all I'm doing here is going to an A. And then very quickly sliding from the 1st to the 2nd string on the 1st string. So like this, A chord. Then I'm going back to the long A. And then that last pinch, I get the high string, the 1st string in the D shape. So again, when you listen to this, it's kind of tough to hear exactly what he's doing, but it's something like that. So let me play the whole thing through from the end of the previous verse. And that's the break part, and I'm still working on that. I'm still trying to figure that out completely, but whatever it is he's doing between the A and the D. And I'm going to show you some slides that he does a little bit later in the song that you might be able to work into this part. The Stephen Grossman version of this song, when he does this part, He goes back to the 4, I think. Something like that, which is the way I always played it. But if you listen to the guitar break in the original, he's just going between the A and the D. He's not going to any of the other chords in that part. And when I come back, the last part of this lesson, we'll take a look at the one kind of other guitar break that he does toward the end of the song. Last part of Old Country Rock that he throws in here, and we'll go through the whole thing here in just a minute. But he does this little guitar break thing where he really just stays on the D, the 1. So let me take it from the end of one of the verses and I'll show you what he does. So what I'm doing there is like this. I'm just taking this D chord and I'm moving it to what would be, would that be a D flat? So I started on the D flat, and then I do that little bouncy pickup, fingers, put them back on in the D shape. And I'm just keeping the bass going the whole time. Then I go to the 4. Again. Then there's a little variation in it. Just more kind of a back and forth strumming with the finger, first finger and the thumb as he plays those chords. But anyway, this part, that's all I'm doing there. It's pretty simple, just sliding that D chord. It sounds great. First position D is such a neat chord. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to take the whole song and play it through, and then the end tag is just another little variation on that D slide. So what I've shown you so far is enough that you can play the song and make it sound good. And if you want to pursue it on your own and try to figure out every little part note for note, I think I've got the foundation of it. I played the song live and I've even recorded it, and I always did it the way Stephen Grossman kind of did it. I threw in a few things from the original tune, but now the more I listen to it, I really like the way he plays it on the older version. I'm going to try to work on that. So let me play through Old Country Rock. This is my version. version. I didn't include all the variations on the main verse, but you got the idea of how the song goes, or at least how I play it. The end tag, if I remember from the original song, it's kind of weird. He does it actually over the 4. So he finishes a verse, starts another one. Something like that, and ends it. He ends it in a weird spot. He doesn't play the whole verse all the way through. Let me try that again. I think he does that, where he just slides the D chord to the D flat and is picking, basically up picking from the 2nd and 3rd strings. It ends like that. Let me try it one more time. One more time. You have to listen to the original and get that part down. Sorry, I thought I had that. He does that for the, I'm pretty sure. So Old Country Rock, it's a really cool song. For the most part, the bass is pretty straightforward, especially over the 1. Play that the simple way, or you can try to do what William Moore was doing, which sounds to me a little more complicated. I haven't completely got that down, but he's doing something like that. And then that 5 part, or the 2 to the 5, one more time, like this part. Is he just sliding that 1 string, or is he taking the whole chord? Don't know. And again, this is one of those old tunes where you don't have any video. Not that many guys try to play it the way it was originally played. And so it's hard to figure out. And just what I try to do is find a way that I can play it and it sounds good. It sounds like music. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. I'm sorry I don't have any tab for this. Maybe eventually I will for more of my acoustic lessons, but it takes a lot of time to do that tab, and right now I just don't have that time. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I hope this lesson is helpful, and make sure you listen to the original version of William Moore's Old Country Rock. This is from 1928 or so, and they have it on YouTube. He has another tune called One Way Gal, which is very similar. Almost the same tune, just a little different, a few differences, and that one is good to listen to as well. I will see you again in a few months, and we're going to do an acoustic lesson on Blind Blake's Jumpman Blues, which is a tune that I just finally figured out after many years of trying. See you then.